Hey everyone, I'm Timmy Scott, and if you're new here, welcome. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, I was born and raised a Jehovah's Witness. I was in a sheltered environment only because of my parents. Now, first off, I want to give a shout out to my friend Vicky. She's been supportive to me in the last few years or so since we started talking, whenever that was. Sorry, Vicky, if I forgot when we started talking. Can't blame me. Anyway, she's been there for me. She's been supportive. We agree on most things more often than not. I don't think we've ever disagreed on anything, and if we didn't, then oh well. I mean, can't always agree on everything, but whatever. So this one's for you. And if you really want a shout out, seriously, I've addressed this before. Leave a comment, and I will shout you out in the next video if you really want one. As long as it's a positive comment. Anyway, whatever. As I mentioned before in previous videos, I was in a Jehovah's Witness environment. I was sheltered in that environment only because of my parents. I had no choice. I had no choice to be in that environment. So, I want to talk about a little more about shunning. And it's a little bit of a heavy topic. The only reason I want to continue to keep making a topic about this is a part 2 of it. I made a previous one, but I want it to be in a more directional thought to get people to understand more. The only reason they say they don't shun people, and I mentioned this before, the only reason they say they don't shun people is because they're told to do that. They're told to not shun people is because they want to put on a front. They want to put on a mask to try to impress people. They want to convert people. They want to play the victim. All that stuff. All that unfortunate negative stuff. I've learned this. It was like a light bulb. Someone told me this, and it's my mind is like a steel trap. Negative or positive, it's like a steel trap. Anyway, I've learned this. If you put out negativity, negativity will come back to you. And that's what Jehovah's Witnesses do. They put out a lot of negativity. I didn't quite understand what shunning was when I was younger, only because my parents never told me. You're not allowed to learn anything outside the Jehovah's Witnesses. Because again, Jehovah's Witnesses only say they don't shun people because they want to put up a front. They want to pretend to make a first good impression to people. So anyway, I had an older brother who was disfellowshipped. And I know I made a previous video about this, but I wanted to put in a more directional thought with this video. This is going to be a little bit of a heavy-ish sort of topic. I remember he was disfellowshipped for a while. And I couldn't quite understand why my dad wasn't allowed to talk to him. But I, again, was in a sheltered environment, so I couldn't learn anything else outside the Jehovah's Witnesses than what my parents had taught me. Anyway, it sucks. They have shallow emotions. They have the weight of the world on their shoulders. They think they're doing the right thing, but they're really not. The only reason they act these certain ways is because of what they're told to do, how to act, and way to be, and stuff like that. My ex-Jehovah's Witness friends will understand that. Will get that concept. They have shallow emotions. They never will be able to grasp the excessive amount of mind control they have. They will never understand it. They will never get it. They will never get why they act the way they do. Now, recently, more often than I used to before, I learned about communications and social skills. And I perceived that as a Jehovah's Witness perspective. I've stepped myself back into that perspective. I perceived that in that old perspective about it. And there's a lot of things they pretend to carry, because again, they like to wear a mask in front of people they've never met, because that's their way of trying to convert them. Now, the only reason they say they don't shun people, again, they're trying to put up a front. Now, let me break this down for you. So, if you're a new person and you're thinking about converting to a Jehovah's Witness, or to the Jehovah's Witnesses, think about this. They don't care about the loved ones they hurt, even if they aren't a Jehovah's Witness. Even if they decided they left and they tell you they're not allowed to talk to them, they can't tell you why, because they don't have anything else to know why they can't talk to them, no matter what it is. They're just not allowed to emotionally or physically come in contact with them, because that's what they're trained to do. That's the way they're trained to act. So, if you're an incoming Jehovah's Witness, or you think about wanting to get baptized, think about this. If you do that, then you're losing everything. Then you're leaving everyone behind. And they say that, again, they say they don't shun because they want to make a good first impression. They want to try to convince you that way. But when you get baptized, and then if you decide to leave before you die, whenever that time comes, then they do shun you. Because that's their entire game. That's their entire scam. That's the way they want to portray it as. They want to scam people that way. So, again, if you are thinking about converting, don't. Because they only say they don't shun people because they want to convince them enough, thinking they'll become a Jehovah's Witness. My parents lived a whole lie of that. Again, I didn't really understand that for myself because I was in that sheltered environment. I spent pretty much since birth living that lie. I didn't want to live that lie, but I had no choice. I was surrounded by so much negativity, I didn't quite get the concept to it. So it's like, looking back at it now, I get it. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. All they like to do is try to scam people for money. And just scam people in general to convert. Just like every other cult, but that's besides the point. No religion would tell someone they're the true religion, either. I remember hearing about that as a Jehovah's Witness growing up one night. They said they're the true religion. I guess I kind of knew it was. I guess I kind of knew they were lying, but again, can't say nothing. Not allowed to say nothing. Not allowed to express emotion. Anyway, so again, if you're thinking about converting, think about this concept really quick. You wouldn't hurt the ones you love. And that's unfortunately what my parents and anyone that's in my family that are Jehovah's Witnesses, they do. And I have family members that aren't Jehovah's Witnesses, but they carry some of that trait because of my parents. They had those certain actions and behaviors and the way they act and stuff like that because of that. So, again, if you think about converting, don't fall for that. Stay with the ones you love. You want to keep the ones you love. Even if you live through some of the toughest times. That's what a part of life is. A part of life is going through tough times. You're going to go through tough times. But that doesn't mean you should shun them or kick them out or whatever just because they commit the smallest of sin. I know I've addressed that before, but I'm going to keep doing it because I want people to understand it. If you love someone, you wouldn't hurt them. And that goes for even friends in general too. I mean, if you love your friends, you wouldn't hurt them. But that's just how Jehovah's Witnesses work. If I've left anything out, I might leave it in the description or another part of the video. And again, if you want a shout out, and if you agree to the things I've said, leave a comment. Leave a positive comment anyway. Also, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, turn on post notifications, like this video to your favorites, share this video around with your friends on social media. Sorry if I sound a little iffy. Again, still trying to get used to this whole vlogging about Jehovah's Witnesses thing. I wish I would have done it a lot when I first left, but I was still kind of going through the emotions and stuff like that. But whatever. At least I'm doing it now. For anyone that enjoys watching, if you watch till the end also, again, leave a comment. Let me know that you watched till the end. And if you really want that shout out, again, also, I can't address this enough. Leave a comment telling me what you thought, if you positively agree with this, and then I will shout you up. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.